Retro Maniacs. Today we're stepping into the goddamn ring. 1987 NES. The Nintendo drops Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Honest like a sucker punch to the face, this wasn't your average boxing game. This was the wildest circus of international stereotypes ever assembled. You don't just fight boxers. You fight a French punching bag, a German drill sergeant, a Spanish matador who fell out of a telenovela, and eventually Iron freaking Mike Tyson. The scariest final boss in NES history. The man who gave an entire generation thumb arthritis and trust issues. And the best part, you play as Little Mac. This tiny ass 107-pound kid from the Bronx who looks like he'd get carded at Chuck E. Cheese. And somehow, he's supposed to beat these absolute monsters. This game didn't just test your reflexes, it tested your patience, your stamina, your goddamn will to live. And by the end, if you survived, you didn't just beat a game, you survived a war. Look at this, your trainer, Doc, pedaling his bike, and you're sprinting behind him through New York like you're training for the Hunger Games. Punch-Out had style, baby. It had flair, but it also had pain. So much pain. And first up on the chopping block, the legend icon, the man, the myth, the baguette, Glass freaking Joe. 1 win, 99 losses. This man's boxing record is so bad it's practically elder abuse to put him in the ring. He's not here to fight, he's here to pay rent. Joe is the tutorial disguised as a human being. He throws punches like he's underwater. His footwork, non-existent. He's the only boxer in history who walks into the ring already apologizing. But you gotta love him. He's got that French flair, that cocky little smirk until you smack him once. And suddenly he's Glass for real. The dude shatters like a wine glass at a wedding. As a kid, Glass Joe was the confidence booster, the gateway drug. He made you think, hey, maybe I can do this. Maybe I'm actually good at Punch-Out. But that's the trap, man. That's the setup, because right after Joe, the game cranks up the difficulty and knees you in the teeth. So Glass Joe, I salute you. You're the tutorial wrapped in a beret. You're the punching that taught us how to dodge. And yeah, you're a loser, but you're our loser. Next up is Von freaking Kaiser, straight out of Germany, with a mustache that screams, I yell at children for fun. This guy looks less like a boxer and more like your pissed off high school gym teacher. And his strategy, telegraph every punch like he's giving you a goddamn PowerPoint. He rears back, his whole face contorts, he literally warns you before he throws, and you still might get clocked. Hey, pay attention! This is where the game starts, because unlike Glass Joe, this guy actually fights back. He'll daze you, he'll stun you, and if you're sloppy, he'll knock your little Bronx ass down. But let's be real, beating Von Kaiser wasn't just a win. It was cathartic. You weren't just knocking out a boxer, you were punching out every angry authority figure in your life. That time your boss yelled at you, boom! That time your teacher gave you detention, ow! Von Kaiser went down, and you walked away grinning like Rocky with a game genie. Now, it's time for your first real wall. Piston Honda, straight out of Japan, rocking the headband and doing that intense eye thing, like he's about to hit you with an anime power-up. This is where kids in the 80s started sweating. Piston Honda wasn't here to mess around. He hits harder, he moves faster, and he's got the move. You know the one, the Honda Rush. He does that little shuffle, his eyebrows go Super Saiyan, and then BAM! He's unloading a freight train of punches at your tiny 107-pound ass. You panic, you mash the buttons, and 9 times out of 10, you wake up on the canvas wondering what the hell just happened. Piston Honda taught you something very important. Timing. No more button mashing. You had to dodge, counter, and think. Punch-Out was suddenly a real fight, and when you finally cracked the code, slipped the rush, and countered with the star punch, the dopamine hit could have cured polio. Piston Honda was brutal but fair, the boss fight that turned boys into men or into rage quitters. And then Nintendo serves us Don freaking Flamenco. Straight out of Spain, straight out of Cologne commercial. Strutting into the ring with a rose in his mouth like he's auditioning for Dancing with the Stars. This man isn't here to fight, he's here to flirt. He's here to pose. He's here to make your grandma blush. And his moveset, he literally taunts you. He begs you to punch him. You throw one jab and bam, he counters with that big dramatic uppercut. John Flamenco is the definition of style over substance. He's dramatic, he's flashy, he's got that stupid hair flip, but once you figure him out, he's toast. Easier than Glass Joe on a hangover. But credit where it's due, Don Flamenco taught you patience. If you went wild, you got punched. If you stayed cool and timed it right, you turned him into a punching bag with a perm. He wasn't a boxer. He was a Saturday morning cartoon villain who got lost on his way to the soap opera. Dropping him felt like handing out a rejection letter to arrogance. Oh baby, King Hippo. The man, the myth, the stomach. He waddles in like he just ate the last 3 heavyweights on the card. He's massive, he's terrifying, and for a lot of kids, he was the first real wall. Because King Hippo doesn't play by the rules. He blocks everything. You hit him, nothing. You dodge, nothing. Then he unloads on you like a pissed off refrigerator. Then you figure it out. Bop him in his mouth, his shorts drop, and suddenly his one weakness is exposed. The goddamn belly button. You hammer that gut like whack-a-mole, and down he goes. One knockdown, he never gets up. King Hippo was hilariously terrifying until you solved the puzzle, then a joke. Less boxing match, much more boss battle. Once you drop him, you felt like king of the world. Oh, and just when you think you're starting to feel good, here comes Great Tiger, straight out of India, rocking the turban and the jewel, and a special move that makes zero goddamn sense in a boxing ring. This man teleports around the ring. I don't care if you're 8 in 1987 or 35 on an emulator. The first time he pulls his teleport punch, you scream, "What the fuck?" He blinks across the screen and unloads an uppercut that sends little Mac to the floor faster than your mom shutting off the Nintendo for dinner. But once you lock into the rhythm, the jewel blank pattern, it was beautiful. Like a dance. Dodge left, dodge right, dodge left, boom! Counter to the jaw. Great Tiger was when Punch-Out stopped being goofy fun and became a rhythm game in boxing. Frustrating, bullshit genius, and when you cracked him, you felt like the wizard. Enter Bald Bull, Turkey's angriest bald man and the first fighter that made kids throw controllers. Bald Bull is a monster. Fast, strong, blocks like a wall, and worst of all, he's got the charge. The first time you see him bounce to the ropes, stomp, and sprint at you like a freight train, your soul leaves your body. You panic, mash, scream, boom, canvas. Unless you nail the perfect counter punch at the exact millisecond, you're dead. Bald Bull was the original get-go moment. Excuse me. A straight-up skill check, fail it, and it's back to start. Next up is Soda Popinski, the Russian powerhouse who was definitely supposed to be named Vodka Drakinsky until Nintendo remembered kids existed. This dude is drunk, uncool energy. Tall, ripped, pale as a ghost, fights like he's 3 bottles deep at a family barbecue. He laughs, he taunts, he messes with your head, and when he lands a hit, it's like getting smacked by a semi-truck made of Smirnoff. He'll put Little Mac on the mat so fast your controller will vibrate. Except controllers didn't vibrate yet, so it's just you shaking with rage. Soda Popinski was tough and hilarious. Nintendo trolling the entire Cold War. Beating him felt less like boxing and more like defeating alcoholism. Oh, look who's back. Don Flamenco, round 2. Meaner, tougher, telenova, revenge arc. The rose is still there, the hair is still ridiculous, but this time he doesn't go down easy. He throws combos, fights smarter, and suddenly he's not a joke. He's still Don Flamenco, though still prancing, still taunting, still begging to get his ass beat. Dropping him twice feels like punching arrogance in the face. Now we hit Nightmare Fuel. Mr. Sandman, straight out of Philadelphia, standing there like the boogeyman who came to collect your soul. No gimmicks, no clown shoes, just raw, brutal heavyweight power. His stare alone can melt children. His uppercuts are death, his combos are lightning. Slip once, and he turns Little Mac into a smear. Mr. Sandman felt real, like what an actual heavyweight would do to a 107-pound teenager. The "are you sure you want to keep playing" moment? Beat him? Respect. Because now there's one fight left, the craziest boss in NES history, the man himself. Before Iron Mike, Nintendo serves you Super Macho Man, straight out of California, dripping with roid rage, ego, and more spray tan than a 1980s pro wrestling pro. Peak parody, he flexes, he preens, he's if Arnold and Ric Flair had a baby raised on steroids and tanning oil. Special move, the goddamn spin punch. He winds up twirls like a washing machine on turbo, and if you don't dodge perfectly, wham! Little Mac gets launched into another time zone. Not boxing, anime bullshit wrapped in bodybuilding oil. Beating Super Macho Man is passing your final exam. The Gatekeeper, the last clown before the main event. And then the screen goes dark. The crowd roars, and there he is, Iron Mike Tyson. The baddest man on the planet. 1987 Mike Tyson. Not the meme, not the cameo. The undefeated champ who was knocking out real boxers in under 90 seconds. And now he's here to murder your 8-bit childhood. The first 90 seconds, instant death. One punch, that's all it takes. He taps you once, and boom, Little Mac is snoring. Kids don't need horror games, we had Mike Tyson's opening round. If you survive that first minute and a half, you might stand a chance. Maybe. But Tyson's punches are faster than human reflexes. His uppercuts, forget it. Your brain can't process the pixels before you're face down again. This was just a boss fight. It was psychological warfare. NES Dark Souls, the true final exam. If you beat him, that wasn't victory. That was a rite of passage. You weren't a kid anymore. You were forged in pain, baptized in sweat, a gaming legend. So what was Mike Tyson's Punch-Out? Ridiculously unfair, stereotypes and salt wrapped in neon pixels, but also magic. Every fight a puzzle, every fighter a character, every victory earned. We raged, we laughed, we broke controllers, and through it all, we fell in love with a game way bigger than its tiny boxing. Punch-Out wasn't just about beating Tyson, it was about proving you could survive Nintendo at its meanest. And if you did, you wore that victory like a championship belt for life. I'm Taserface. This has been Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Subscribe, stay loud, and remember, no matter how many times life knocks you down, it's always dangerous to go alone. See you later.